Okay, so Adelaide, India versus Bangladesh. On paper, shouldn't be that difficult for India.
But
There are doubts because you lost to South Africa at a very, very crucial time of the tournament.
correct, and it was a very close match too.
Close match, there are some flaws that have been exposed in that encounter against South Africa. Bangladesh, on the other hand, well, they have gotten a slight rejuvenation after winning against Zimbabwe by 3 runs. Coming back to a venue where they announced themselves 7 years ago by beating England in the 2015 World Cup to dump them
Out of the World Cup, correct. That was dark times for English
Dark
cricket.
times for England, that set the base for New England to be what they are today.
Right now, yes.
So, Bangladesh, although Shakib Al Hasan will say,
We're not here to win the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, either that is called undercutting yourself too much, whether it was sarcasm. We don't know Shakib. Shakib has been so volatile in the last couple of months.
But I think, with him, quite honestly, I get the feeling that he's being honest. Because again, Bangladesh in the 2021 World Cup didn't win a single match. 2022 Asia Cup didn't win a single match. They didn't win a single match in the tri-series that was held before this World Cup. So I don't think he's saying anything, although I do think there was a better way to maybe phrase it.
Yes.
But he's normally known for being very upfront with how he feels.
Very upfront, and he's also a very reluctant captain. Remember, there was no captain in the Bangladesh team. They were not ready to take that poison chalice up.
Exactly. And don't forget, he left captaincy a while back, or was taken from him. I don't remember which it was. Now they've come back to him because, well, there's really no other choice.
Yep. So Bangladesh still in their level on points with India, though.
Correct.
With a very poor net run rate.
Let's also start looking at the comments soon. I'm very, very eager to see what people have to say about our shirt.
And don't forget, we'll be cutting live to Adelaide, where
Yes.
Phil will be giving all the updates. We'll also be joined by Pragyan Ojha, Sunil Gavaskar, Harbhajan Singh. All of them will be joining us.
They'll be giving us plenty of stuff in the build up to this match. And mind you, normally it's India Pakistan, India Bangladesh. You don't really look at it as being that big a match. But again, India's loss to South Africa really just it changed the equation entirely, because what happened here was that if India had beaten South Africa, then you'd be thinking, okay, 2 more matches done. You're all but through, especially considering 1 match is against Zimbabwe, who, whatever said and done, aren't necessarily going to be a team that trouble India too much.
And Zimbabwe are on the cusp of elimination because Netherlands need only 51 of 60 balls in their chase of 118. So today, Zimbabwe could very well be eliminated from the competition. Netherlands are already eliminated. So the weather is currently, it is cloudy in Adelaide at this point in time. Showers have happened.
They've been very short showers, though. That's what we got to hear.
Yes.
And the thing is that even though there is rain forecast for the evening, but it's very, very small. And the good news is Adelaide Oval has a wonderful drainage system. So I don't think you're missing out on any time.
Yep. So the weather is cloudy.
And we are enjoying it. Yes.
Into 2 of the standout fans that I see. Sukumar is very famous everywhere. He's one of those hardcore India fans who travels across the world to watch India play. Today you are appropriately dressed because it's so cold. You've got a nice jersey.
Yes, sir. Actually, during a summer I was suffering a lot. But today, with God's grace, the chilling weather, my costume helped me a lot. Of course, I love cold. But still, for the team ke liye, we are ready to give our life.
आपका जो ये tiger, see, the Bangladeshi fan is wearing the tiger jersey. What are you expecting in the game?
Inshallah, Bangladesh good team, nice team. Our performance is the good. Last Zimbabwe match, Bangladesh good performance. Last Netherlands match is the good performance. Inshallah, Bangladesh win. Bangladesh good player, Shakib Al Hasan, Mustafizur Rahman is the all player new because Bangladesh good team. India something is the pressure today.
Okay.
I don't know why he's telling pressure. The entire world knows we are the team who give pressure to opponent team. But one thing, on behalf of all the fans across the globe, the legend, the Virat Kohli is celebrating his birthday on the 5th. So I made a banner.
Nice. Okay, come show
Happy birthday in advance. The great legend, the run machine, one and only. Happy birthday, legend. You are the legend. You will the legend. You are the captain forever.
Okay, I want to ask you one thing. If you are so confident of Bangladesh winning, why is it that Shakib Al Hasan said yesterday, we are not here to win the World Cup?
Shakib Al Hasan is the very good all-rounder, number 1 all-rounder. is I think Bangladesh today tension is the rain.
No one can upset India. No one can upset India.
Today rain is the very tension, but no rain. Inshallah, Bangladesh win.
India gonna win this World Cup. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. See, fans are very confident. I'm sure the Indian team is very confident of doing well. As I said, it's a must-win encounter for India. Bangladesh, on the other end, they've also won 2 encounters. They're in for a race of that semi-final spot. But the Indian team definitely go into this encounter as the overwhelming favorite. Sunny Gavaskar, Harbhajan Singh, Pragyan Ojha, all with us. It's time to bring in our expert. Sunny bhai, I'll start with you. We all remember, it's been a long time, I think 3 years since India and Bangladesh played a T20 international. That was a bilateral series. But we'll all remember the last encounter that they had in a T20 World Cup. That happened in 2016. It was a nail-biting match. It went down to the wire. We remember MS Dhoni doing that run out at the end. And from a winning position, Bangladesh lost that match. But there was a lot of friction between the two teams. What do you think that between India and Bangladesh, whenever they play, there is some sort of friction? You're expecting more of that here?
Yes, definitely. I think when you look at Bangladesh, they play really well in the white ball game because they seem to have the players for it. At the moment, maybe you could say that with a few retirements and a few people who may not have been selected according to the Bangladesh media, they might not be quite the strongest team, but they can never be underestimated. Shakib is a world-class player. We all know they've got a very good attack, new ball attack, and in Litan Das and company, the batting also is very, very good.
Well, Harbhajan, to you as well, as Sunny bhai points out, Bangladesh is a team no one can take lightly. It's a big game for India, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, most certainly. You know, Bangladesh is not a minnow side. They can upset any team and they can beat any team. You know, they have that confidence. Well, in the recent past, I think they could be a very dangerous team on their own day. And Shakib mentioned in the press conference that they are not here to win the World Cup, but they are here to make some upsets for the team, and I hope that didn't come. That should not come today. And see, I remember one of the game I was part of where Bangladesh beaten us in 2007, and we actually were out of the competition. It was a World Cup 2007 in West Indies. So we don't want anything happen like that. And and of course we can't take things for granted. Bangladesh, the top side, and this format allow anyone to win. And Bangladesh will be fencing their chances, but India need to play good to keep the momentum and make sure they get the right result.
Right, Pragyan, we know that this is a crucial game. Rahul Dravid pointed it out that it's a must-win encounter. In fact, the Indian team is looking at it as 4 games in a row they need to win if they need to win the T20 World Cup, and it all starts here from the Adelaide Oval. But this Bangladesh team, would you say is not the same Bangladesh that the Indian team encountered earlier? That Bangladesh team had the ability in them, had the firepower in them to upset a lot of big teams, as they did in a lot of important tournaments. But this team is going through a bit of a churn and may not be as threatening as the team that was there 4 or 5 years ago.
I think it clearly shows what the Bangladesh team currently is thinking about. When the captain of the side goes on and says that he's not here to win the World Cup and he's here to upset other teams, that shows the mindset. I think 2 things you can derive from it. One, that they're trying to, divert everybody, and they're making sure that the pressure is less on them. And the other thing, maybe it looks like they're being defensive and they're unsure about their team. As you rightly said, yes, the team that played against India last time when they encountered each other was a solid side. They looked more balanced, but now they're finding their way up. And that is the reason maybe the captain comes out and public domain and says that whatever I said earlier. So it clearly shows that, they are trying to be a little defensive. But saying that, in T20 format, we have seen lot of upsets, especially during this tournament. In the round A, we saw a lot of less experienced side beating those bigger sides and making big news, saying that in T20 cricket, till you have won, you have to see to it that you're doing well. If you lose the track, then it'll be a trouble for you. Last game, when we talk about India, I think that's where India they had a chance when they were batting to get those 15-20 runs. But I felt, somewhere they miscalculated, or maybe they did not anticipate what was going to happen. That's where they lost a few runs. And that's where I think South Africa could improvise and took the advantage. That is something which India would look to make sure that doesn't happen, because India is a side which has a lovely balance and also one of the favorites in the tournament.
Sunny bhai, we were looking at the stats between India and Bangladesh, and we know that Bangladesh has given India some very close encounters, but the stats are overwhelmingly in favor of India. I think out of all the T20s that the two teams have played, Bangladesh have managed to win just one T20I versus the Indian team. Do you think that particular stat is going to hold today as well? Will it have any bearing on this encounter? Or do you think, no, this is a one-off game, it's a World Cup game, pressure will be on both teams?
No, I don't think the past matters because most players, when you can get to that international level and even earlier, get used to the fact of forgetting the previous ball and concentrating on the next ball, whether you're a bowler or a batsman. Similarly, I think teams forget what has happened in the past. In the immediate past, supposing it had happened 3-4 days earlier, it's another matter. Sometimes that can stay with you. The result can still stay with you, but not if something had happened a few years back. So I don't think that should be a factor at all. Obviously, India, having beaten them more often than not, will have that much more confidence. And I do believe that today also, India should prevail.
Right. One thing that goes in India's favor is, of course, those stats that I was talking about. The other thing is this particular ground, this iconic venue, Adelaide Oval, right behind me. India has some fond memories here. Harbhajan Singh, who has also played on this ground. Harbhajan, the two very important people in the Indian team at the moment, the coach, Rahul Dravid, got a 230 odd here at the Adelaide, helped India win that test match, was man of the match. So he's got fond memories. He mentioned that in the press conference. Other than that, Virat Kohli, he can do no wrong in this ground. Got a World Cup 100 here versus Pakistan. Back-to-back hundreds in a test match in 2012. His first test 100 in Australia in this particular ground. All of those memories, you surely think you're going to derive from those memories when you step out on the field today?
Yeah, this ground suits Rahul Dravid, of course, Virat Kohli the most, because he scored a lot of runs here. And, few players like playing in certain ground. For me, it was always Eden Garden. And if you ask Virat Kohli, this is where he started scoring those runs for India. And now he's, at the top of the world. And he's back in Adelaide, and he'll be backing himself to score those runs for Team India today and get a big win. And of course, Adelaide is a very, very special ground for Team India. India have always done well in Adelaide because it's a batting paradise. This is probably the best wicket to bat on in Australia. So India will be happy playing in Adelaide against Bangladesh, and I hope they play well and they get the right result today.
Well, on the subject of this ground, Pragyan, we heard from Harbhajan pointing out that this is probably the best surface for batting. Do you think these conditions then are going to suit the Indian batsmen? I know that Bangladesh is also a subcontinental team that prefers, batting conditions, but the firepower that India has is clearly more in batting than Bangladesh. You reckon the Indian batsmen are going to enjoy? And the other thing that I've noticed here, that, the old Adelaide Oval used to be very big. This new stadium is much smaller, and I saw the ropes have been pushed further in. So it's going to be shorter boundaries as compared to what you encountered both in Perth and then before that in Melbourne.
I think without a doubt, it will be much better than what we saw in Perth. wickets will be more batsman friendly, and the dimensions that you're talking about, it will see that batsmen, they get some runs. But when I go back a little and talk about BBL since 2019 and 20, the team normally who wins the toss, they bat first, and 13 times they have won, and 9 times, I guess, not 13, it is 21 times they have won, and 9 times only the team batting second has won. And saying that the average score on this venue in BBL T20 format is 160, 165. I think that is something, when we talk about batting friendly, it's a little tricky. When you say it's a good wicket to bat on, yes, it can be, but when you look at the score, the average score, it says that it is 160, 165, then there is something for the bowlers. When we talk about bowlers, maybe, it can help spinners because of the nature of the wicket.
It can help the spinners. So we'll see whether India then stick to 2 regular spinners as they had been doing earlier, or go in with a part-timer in Deepak Hooda. We'll know when the playing 11 is announced. Meanwhile, Saibai, let me come to you. Bangladesh, India, both in similar position in the World Cup. Both have won 2 matches and have lost 1. In that sense, you would be hoping that even Bangladesh are in with a chance for the semi-final. At least the team would be very well aware of that. Yet you have someone like a Shakib Al Hasan come on the press conference and say, listen, India is here to win the World Cup. We are not here to win the World Cup. Many found that awkward. How do you see this particular statement? Is it a sign of being underconfident against a very strong Indian team? Or do you think, no, Shakib is a smart cookie. He's played enough international cricket. These are mind games. He's probably saying this to take the pressure off his team.
On reflection, I'm thinking about it, I think it's a very clever statement. What that has done is it's taken the pressure off Bangladesh and his team. What it has meant is that, people say, following that statement, reading it in and seeing it in Bangladesh, will say, okay, the captain himself is saying that we are not here to win the World Cup, but we can cause an upset or 2 here and there. So I think I do realize that, with a situation like that, what has happened is that he's actually taken the pressure of his team, and which means that they can actually go out and play with freedom. And that is going to be very, very interesting to see how now they get onto the field and how they play.
Pragyan, what about you? How do you view this statement? Because I was talking to a few Bangladeshi journalists a short while ago, and they say that there's a lot of criticism that's coming Shakib Al Hasan's way. Well, he said that, listen, Bangladesh is not here to win the World Cup. Was he being realistic, or were there mind games at play here?
I think I echo the same thing what Sunil Gavaskar sir said, and I have said it earlier also, that they're being little smart here, trying to take the pressure off themselves because they know their team is not as settled as their opponents. And the other thing that, everybody, when you talk about Bangladesh, if you go back, people in Bangladesh follow very closely what Bangladesh does. And this statement may tell them that, okay, I think even if we don't win the World Cup, we can upset a favorite side. So it is basically trying to take the pressure off yourself. And Shakib Al Hasan, being a smart guy, been there, done that since quite some time, he knows exactly how to take the pressure off himself. But as far as I know him, I will never go with his statement. I would like to see what he does on the ground, because that is what matters.
Okay, I'd have to concur with what both Sunnybai and Pragyan are saying, because Shakib Al Hasan, if you've seen him play his international cricket, if you've covered him, you know that he is a wily old fox. He's played enough international cricket to know the things that go into an encounter like this, and what are the right things to say and what things are not, how to take pressure off his team. And that's why he is leading a team like Bangladesh. We'll see if these sort of tactics by the Bangladesh team work or not. Meanwhile, what really needs to work for India is KL Rahul and his batting form. Saiva, let me take that question to you. No better than you to answer what an opener must do in conditions here in Australia. Where do you think he's going wrong? How does he rectify that to get back into form?
I said yesterday as well, and I say that again. I think he has I think sometimes he doesn't realize how much talent he has. He is by far one of the most talented batsmen that you can come across. And what I think he really needs to do is to believe in himself. I do hope that the mental conditioning coach Paddy Upton will drill that into him as to how good a player he is and how he can change the complexion of the game with his batting. I'd like to see him walk out today against Bangladesh with a swagger. He's like, come on, guys, I'm waiting for you. And, play like that, because he's got all the shots in the book, right from, deep third man to deep fine leg. He can play the drive, he can play the pull shot, he can play the flick shot. You just name it. He's got every shot in the book. It's just that he's got to start believing in himself a lot more. He probably believes in himself, but he has to believe in himself a lot more.
Okay, that's a very interesting take from Sunny Gavaskar, where he's saying that it's not so much anything to do with KL Rahul's technique, more of a confidence issue with him, and probably for that he would need the support of his teammates, the support of the team management, as well as he has to have a lot of confidence in himself. We heard from Rahul Dravid speak yesterday, where he said, listen, the team is backing him to the hilt. We know that he's going to come good sooner or later. What do you reckon, Harbhajan? What do you reckon is ailing KL Rahul, and how does he rectify that?
Yeah, of course, top class player, and of course this is an opportunity. I think Rahul mentioned that he will be playing all games, and it's great, when team is supporting you, backing you, and all you want is your batters or a guy to go out there and explore himself. And we know that he's a quality player. Yes, he's going through some rough patch where he's not scoring as many runs as we expect him to do. But yes, that's the time when a player needs a backing from the sports staff, from coach, and that's what he's got. Now he just can just go there and play the normal cricket, what he's known for, and get runs for Team India. Simple as that. And this is a great ground for all the Indians batters. And I think one of the best wicket to bat on. KL would enjoy batting on this wicket rather than anywhere else in Australia. This is kind of perfect chance for him to get back into the rhythm.
Well, on the subject of KL Rahul, Pragyan, what do you reckon? I mean, we were talking about him not being in form, and that's only been just 3 matches, because I remember in that warm-up game versus Australia, in these conditions, just about a couple of weeks ago, he was outstanding. So it's not that he's not been getting runs, it's the crucial games where the runs are not coming.
Absolutely. I think both Sunny sir and Bhajupa were spot on that as far as his batting is concerned, he's been timing the ball well. Even I would go far and say that Rahul Dravid, the way he backed him, Rohit Sharma, the way they're backing him, it shows that, they do believe in KL Rahul. But it's just that, in your mind, how you're thinking about it, what you want to do, that is very important. See, everybody can support you, but end of the day, in that 22 yards, what you feel, how are you being able to express yourself is very important. I think that is where KL Rahul needs to go deeper into it and think about it, because as far as his skill is concerned, he's spot on. He's got those runs. He's got the experience of playing in Australia. So it is just matter of handling himself mentally. That's where, if he does well, I think he will get those runs for our country.
So as Pragyan Oja was pointing out that, he is a quality player, KL Rahul. He is going to come good sooner or later. Maybe this is that game versus Bangladesh. And the other good thing going for him is that you're playing in probably the best conditions for batting here in Australia. We'll find out whether today is the day where KL Rahul gets the runs. Plenty more to come with our 3 experts in Pragyan Oja, Harbhajan Singh, Sunny Gavaskar. We'll also hear from Suresh Raina, but that's on the other side of this short break. Don't go anywhere. We're building.
KL Rahul,
Oh,
the
yes,
conversation, it's a never-ending talking point at this point.
Yep. never-ending talk, and there are concerns growing over KL Rahul. I mean, what can
Not for the Indian team management.
not for the Indian team. They are backing KL Rahul to the hilt, and they are saying they will play him in this game. But the problem with KL Rahul is that, look, big games. We have to look at the big teams, both from Asia Cup or even against, you may say, the T20 World Cup 2021 and even 2022.
He's averaging a little above 9.
Under 10 in both.
And his strike rate is in the 90s. His top score in that time, whether it be if you're counting the last year's World Cup, this year's World Cup, or this year's Asia Cup against the quote-unquote bigger teams, his highest score was 28 against Pakistan. FYI, that match we lost.
You lost, yes, absolutely. So big debate about KL Rahul. I mean, what is it that, what happens to him when he comes to a major, you may say, pressure-like situation? And what happens supposing it's a big game? There is immense pressure and he just does not, come up to the mark. That is one huge problem that we've got. So, KL Rahul, unfortunately, let's hope that he comes big on this. But yeah, there was one interesting comment made by Sunil Gavaskar and Pragyan Ojha. Shakib's comment, we are not here to win the World Cup, is probably a very clever one. Okay, no pressure. Okay, we are here to just play. It can be interpreted in that way. Or second, it can be interpreted in that, okay, perhaps Bangladesh here will not win the World Cup. It's evident. You're in a group that involves South Africa, you've got a group that involves India, Pakistan. How can we do it? Because we've not played our potential in the Asia Cup, neither in the T20 World Cup, neither you played in the Tri Series well. You lost all the games there. So
correct.
It is really a big problem that they have. Bangladesh, low on confidence, and India, some issues regarding KL Rahul.
Well, some very average fielding.
Very average.
Quite literally found himself with his pants down. Where the fielder was.
Yep. And Netherlands are on the cusp of something very special. They continue their World Cup trend where they've beaten some top teams.
And they will most likely be eliminating Zimbabwe from...
Yes. So remember, if Netherlands beat Zimbabwe, then Zimbabwe are out.
Right.
And you're only left with potentially 4 teams in the race for the playoff.
Correct.
South Africa, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. So, Pakistan will now have their hands full in this. Because look, one team is definitely getting to 6 points today.
Correct.
Pakistan have a virtual quarterfinal against South Africa tomorrow at the Sydney Cricket Ground. And so, whether they do well in that remains to be seen. But now, Netherlands are marching towards an epic win. They need only 10 runs with 5 overs to spare. Max O'Dowd registering a brilliant 50. But India, I think the reaction that has been there is that there has not been, we shouldn't be, Dex sits or why Shakib say we're not here to win the World Cup. What kind of mentality is this? Dex, if you had a look at what Pragyan Ojha and Sunil Gavaskar said, maybe it is a clever way to underplay pressure and expectations. That is the way that it is being interpreted as. It's a very clever way of underpinning pressure. Shakib, yes, he's a very reluctant captain. He's been under pressure a lot of times in his past. This is where pressure gets to him and he's shown that he's been able to crack under pressure. But maybe there is not enough, you may say, expectations. So you can take it to the pinch of salt and say, okay, he's not putting too much pressure on Bangladesh in that sense. So yeah, India-Bangladesh, the weight of history is also there. 11 matches, 10 losses against India, 1 win. And happened this month, by the way, in 3 years back. So we are going back to Nikhil in Adelaide for that.
In the saxophone here, what are you going to play for us today?
As always, Adelaide Oval is the hunting ground for Virat Kohli. So we always have a song for Virat Kohli. So I'll play this song. Virat Kohli, Virat Kohli. I just don't think you understand. Virat's the Superman. Virat the Superman. We got Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli. I just don't think you understand. I just don't think you understand.
We are the Superman. We are the Superman. We got Kohli.
Wow, what a song for Virat Kohli. He's the man who loves Adelaide Oval. What are you expecting? I hope you got no tune for the Nagin dance today.
No. I think all the Nagins and Nagin supporters will be blown out by India. India is hot favorite for the World Cup as well as to win the match. Even the captain of Bangladesh, Shakib Al Hasan, also said that it would be a big upset if India wins. So if the team captains and the morale is like that, I'm sure Team India will blow it away.
We are fully prepared for Nagin dance. We've got Al Sapera here. But the Nagin dance, the Indian fans will do here.
Of course, Nagin dance will do because the morale of the Bangladesh cricket captain has lowered down. As he said, he's not here to win. Only India is here to win. So today, India will prove that they are here to win. So we're gonna win definitely, and we'll do Nagin dance in the ground today.
आज हार्दिक पांड्या खेलेगा और हार्दिक पांड्या जो शेर है, हमारा गब्बर शेर है, वो आज नागिन को खा जाएगा.
That one final song before you go.
Hardik Pandya.
Hardik Pandya, na. Hardik Pandya, na ho jaya. Hardik Pandya, Hardik Pandya, na. Hardik Pandya, na. Hardik Pandya.
Thank you guys. Have a good game and thanks so much for joining us live. So you saw all the Indian fans now coming in. It feels like a carnival-like atmosphere. I'm inundated by taking a look at all the Indian fans. I'm going to show you those visuals here. You will cherish. Let me just show you those of Indian fans just coming in. Can you see the goals that are playing, the atmosphere that's building up? Let's see this one. What has he got? Let me read that statement. So that's what it feels like to be at the Adelaide Oval right now. That's Vikrant who's doing live on AajTak right next to us. Okay, all the best. Enjoy the game. All the very best. So you've seen the atmosphere that's building up. Just about an hour to go, less than an hour to go for that big India-Bangladesh encounter. And wherever India plays, you always see this sort of an atmosphere. Balls are here, the saxophone was here. You heard special songs being prepared. But meanwhile, let's also quickly take you to Suresh Raina, who was playing for the Indian team till very recently. And this is Suresh Raina speaking exclusively to India today, sharing his thoughts on this India-Bangladesh game.
All right, it's the World Cup season, and with us is a World Cup winner, Suresh Raina, the 2011 World Cup winner. Suresh, firstly, welcome. It's good to see you on India Today, and hopefully you'll stay with us for the entire duration of this World Cup. Suresh, this T20 World Cup, of course, India lost to South Africa, but it's an important game against Bangladesh. They are minnows, but still you can't take anything for granted here.
Absolutely. I think the way we are playing, we're playing such amazing cricket. We just need to, hopefully weather will be very sunny, because Adelaide, when we played there against Pakistan in 2015 World Cup, 50 overs World Cup, I think wickets always stayed the same. I think what they have learned in last game, they need to have their fielding has to be improved, because we lost the game against South Africa. We have missed 2 catches. We have missed runouts. I think they must have learned this game. They need to come up and have a good fielding session, because in T20 cricket, fielding makes a lot of difference. I think that's what other teams is doing, like Australia or New Zealand. Look at the brilliant catch England captain has took it. Then Phillips, he took a brilliant catch. I think it's very important to have a good frame of mind when it comes to fielding.
In fact, Suresh, I was trying to figure out the reasons why the Indian team are dropping so many catches, and no better than you. Now that you are here, such a great fielder, Suresh Raina, we all know. What exactly is wrong? Is it the wind in Australia? It is also very cold. We saw even somebody like Virat Kohli missed those chances. What exactly could be the problem there as far as catching is concerned?
As you said, I think definitely the wind, definitely the weather, because you need to take a lot of catches in practice, and it can be very hard in the practice. Then you can really have 1 or 2 brilliant catches in a main game. I think it's very important to have your process right in the fielding session, because fielding, you will take only easy catches when it comes to practice.
Right.
But in match, you'll get the different angle, different shot, different horizontal bat, different flick shots. So you need to make sure you at least take 100 catches in the nets, where you can really have that mindset. Wherever ball comes to your clothes, then you definitely give extra edge to your captain, extra edge to your bowler, because you need to stop the ball as well. You need to make those cut and make those brilliant run out. If you can do it in the nets, definitely you can prepare yourself in the game.
Suresh, you've shared a lot of, in fact, Rishabh's journey. You know a lot about it. There was a time when you had Gautam Gambhir opening the innings for the Indian team. You had Suresh Raina there and Yuvraj Singh. A lot of left-handers. This Indian team, they lack a left-hander. Ever since, of course, Jadeja got injured, they lack a left-hander. Do you think they're actually missing a Rishabh Pant? Perhaps he can be in that middle order?
Absolutely. I think he has to bat. He can be the floater. It doesn't make a difference. He's a bat 4, 5, 6 anywhere. Because look at Moeen Ali. He came just number 3 yesterday, and you have the David Malan. He's number 1, probably in top 10 ranking, and he's still batting number 8. So it shows whatever team needs you need to do that. I have done it. Gautam Gambhir, as you said, he has done it. Juvi Pai has done it. They tried Axar Patel, but I think that plan didn't work out. When you don't have a Jadeja, it's miss out a lot of fielding, batting and bowling, and he has a good cricket brain. But I think Rishabh Pant has to play today. Otherwise, they have a left-arm spinner, they have a left-arm Mustafiz Rahman and Taskin Ahmed. They need to rotate the strike, because when the left hand is there, he has the game, he has the mindset, and he has that intent who can bring a lot of glories to Indian team.
And of course, we can't get a Suresh Raina in that Indian team, but a genuine all-rounder. Now that Ravindra Jadeja is not there, India did try with Deepak Hooda in the last game, but I don't think Rohit Sharma uses him as a genuine all-rounder in terms of his off-spin. That is also lacking perhaps in this India team.
Playing with the 5 bowlers, you need to have one guy. Those days you need to have Virendra Sehwag used to bowl, Yuvraj Singh used to bowl, Saurav Ganguly used to bowl, myself used to bowl, Yusuf Pathan used to bowl. When you have someone who can chip in and bowl 1 or 2 over, probably after 6 or 7 to 14, that's what Maxwell is doing. That's what you see Livingstone is doing it. That's why India is lacking it. That's what they're probably playing. Moeen Ali bowled first over yesterday, and he bowled really well. So
Aiden Markram for South Africa.
Absolutely. I think it's very important to have a 6 bowler who can give a nice sort of a idea, because captain has that brain and he can really use his main bowler later on. I think probably Rohit Sharma must be thinking it, how he going to go about this game. But we have an edge. We're going to win it very easily.
MS Dhoni, Suresh Raina, Yuvraj Singh were part of a team that, and at least the opposition used to think that even if we get rid of their top order, they have the likes of Yuvraj Singh, Suresh Raina and MS Dhoni. Those finishing abilities, India did try with Dinesh Karthik, but as a whole, if you look at it, there's still a missing link when it comes.
As you said, you talk about 2 lefty, and we don't have any left-hander right now. So that's made a lot of difference. That's what Sachin has been saying it on TV. That's what I have said earlier. And when we won the 2007, Gautam Gambhir has done it for us. When we won 2011, Yuvraj Singh has done it for us. When we played in semi-final in 2015 World Cup, Shikhar and Rohit had a wonderful partnership. If they want to win the World Cup, they need to bring Rishabh Pant anyhow. Otherwise, it's going to struggle later, because Dinesh Karthik has done really well, but lefty gave a lot of...
breaks the monotony.
Absolutely. You have a lot of leggy, and I won't be surprised that Yuzvendra Chahal will play too, because a lot of leggy are playing. Because big ground, you can have your wrist spinner. Look at Zampa, you look at Adil Rashid.
Okay, you heard it from Suresh Raina. We're coming to you live from the Adelaide Oval. You could see lots of tricolour fluttering right behind me. Seems to be a sea of orange, white and green and a lot of blue. Everyone wearing the India jersey. And the one chant that you can hear very clearly is India, India, India. Yes, there are a few Bangladesh fans here as well. But mostly, as you can see, it is a sea of blue, all wearing the blue of the Indian cricket team. So that's what we've got here at the Adelaide Oval. It's time to get back our experts in Sunny Gavaskar, Pragyan Oja, Harbhajan Singh. Sahibhai, let's get into specifics now. Let's take a look at what could be the playing 11. Deepak Hooda was drafted in for the game versus South Africa. That tactic didn't quite work out for the Indian team. What do you reckon? Do you think Deepak Hooda remains? Do you think India goes back to bringing in Axar Patel, the sixth bowling option? Or do you keep that extra batsman? But it's not Deepak Hooda, it's Rishabh Pant.
I think it's very tempting to get Pant in, isn't it? Because, we have seen what he can do in the red ball game. In the T20 format, even in the IPL, he hasn't quite been the devastating player he has been in Test cricket. So yes, I think there is that little bit of a concern, and which is probably the reason why he's not finding himself in the 11. So there's always the temptation to play him. But I somehow think that unless Dinesh Karthik is not really 100% fit, Pant will not get a look in today. And Hooda, I think, deserves another chance.
Sunny says that Hooda deserves another go. So you could stick to Deepak Hooda, though bringing in a Pant is also a tempting option. Harbhajan, what do you reckon? Do you see any changes to the Indian playing 11 for this game?
I feel Yuzvendra Chahal should come in instead of Ashwin. Yuzvendra is someone who can take wickets in the middle overs. I think he's been a phenomenal bowler for Team India for many years now, and probably one of the biggest match winner when it comes to bowling. So I think including him in the side will obviously boost the morale of the team, and of course the bowling will look even more better. So I think Yuzvendra is someone that I would like to see in the team, and Rishabh Pant probably will make in the team instead of Dinesh Karthik. I don't know if he is fit. I think Dinesh will play, but if he is not fit, I think Rishabh will walk in straight away.
Pragyan, where do you stand on this 5 bowlers versus 6 bowler theory? Every time India has gone in with 6 bowlers, it's paid dividends. Every time they've gone in with an extra batsman and only played 5 bowlers, they've ended up losing. It happened in the Asia Cup. We've seen it happen here at the T20 World Cup as well, as soon as they drafted Hooda. Where do you stand on 6 versus 5 bowlers at the moment?
I think absolutely you're spot on. The reasoning that you gave were really, really specific, because all the teams, that is the reason they have 5 bowlers and they have an all-rounder. And that is the reason why we have Hardik Pandya and why we are banking so much in his abilities. That's because you have your proper 5 bowlers and then Hardik Pandya will give you those overs. Saying that, I think last game was different. The conditions were different. The demand was different. But now I feel we will see someone like Axar Patel coming in, because he can be handy with the bat and he's a street smart bowler. Saying that, when you talk about a number 1 spinner, yes, I totally agree with Bhajupa. We need to have someone who can pick wickets in the middle, and that job has been done brilliantly over the years by Yuzi Chahal. There's nothing wrong with Ash, but when you talk about the team and you have to win the game and you're looking to win the tournament, you want someone who can deliver and who has been delivering. And if you look at that track record, I think Yuzi Chahal is your number 1 bowler in the spin department, who has been doing that in and out for you. So definitely, I would like to see someone like Axar Patel come back, because it was not a regular change. It was a forced change because of the situation that you're in. You're facing different batsmen. The wickets were different. So it was a different ask. Now it is different. So you go back to your regular stuff. You have Akshar Patel in, and maybe in place of Ashwin, you can have someone like UZCHL because he gives you that option of picking wickets in the middle.
Very interesting by Pragyan. He says Akshar should come back because that was a forced change in the previous game. And I think the other two experts also kind of agree with it. The other interesting point, Sanibhai, I'll come to you. The other interesting point that both Harbhajan and Pragyan have made, that UZCHL, he's a wicket taker. Maybe it's time to give him a chance. Ashwin, we persisted with, yes, he gives you a bit of a cushion in batting, but has not been amongst the wickets. Is it time to go with a UZCHL instead of Ashwin, Sanibhai?
That I think is again going to be a headache for the Indian team's think tank. If you look at Ashwin, with the experience that he has, you would expect that he would play. But like you said, Chahal is the kind of bowler who is a wicket-taking bowler. So somebody who's a wicket-taking bowler is like gold dust, because those are the best dot balls that you can bowl in limited overs cricket. Yes, you want somebody who can bowl with an economy rate of under 7 if possible. But if somebody is also getting wickets around the same time, there's nothing quite like it.
Okay, let me ask the only off-spinner on our panel. I'm just extending that question that I asked to Sanibhai. Harbhajan, to you. As an off-spinner, what do you think Ashwin is not getting right? Why is it that he's been unable to be amongst the wickets in this tournament and in general in T20 cricket, even if I was to include IPL in that?
I think he's bowling a bit too quick, and he's hardly bowling any off spins. In the whole competition, World Cup, I've hardly seen, he's bowling off spin. Against Holland, he was bowling a lot of top spins, and against South Africa, where Miller hit him for 3-6. All 3 balls were like incoming ball, faster ball, which obviously Miller picked that well, and hit those 3 balls for 6. And I think in Australia, in generally, the grounds are big, wickets are very true to bat on, and for spinner, all you can do is just give a bit more flight to get some sort of purchase from the wicket, which Ashwin, at the moment, he is not doing that. And he's probably bowling a little too quick on Australian pitches, where the ball is coming very, very nicely onto the bat. And that's where he's going for a lot of runs. I feel that he needs to go a little slower, try to spin as much as he can, and try to deceive the batsman in the air rather than expecting the ball to turn after pitching. So that's not going to happen in Australia. And these are big grounds. You can always take those chances. And even if you go 40 runs, but you'll end up picking 2-3 important wickets, and that should be the mindset. But I think, so far, he didn't look to bowl off spin. It was more of those cannonballs and a lot of top spins, what we have seen him bowling.
Well, who better than Harbhajan Singh to tell us what's really ailing Ravichandran Ashwin, as he points out 2 very crucial aspects that maybe Ashwin is getting wrong. One, he's not bowling enough of off-spin, maybe experimenting a bit too much. The other, as Harbhajan pointed out, maybe bowling a bit flat out, a bit quicker, Ashwin, and he would want to loop the ball up, give it some sort of flight and entice the batsman. These are the things that probably our Ashwin can look at the moment. Okay, it's not just Adelaide Oval that's building up to this encounter. It's very, very cold here, but things are warming up as fans are trickling in and the atmosphere is building up behind me at the Adelaide Oval. But across India, people are eagerly awaiting for India's 4th match at this T20 World Cup. Let's go across to my colleague Nitin Srivastav. He's with a bunch of fans in New Delhi. It's over to you, Nitin. Tell us how they're all getting up for this match.
Well, each and everybody here is very excited because everybody knows that it's a crucial game against Bangladesh in terms of sealing the semi-final berth. I'm joined by some young cricketers, some school kids. All are excited. All are very excited, actually. They all want India should win this game. Let's talk to them. Here are some very talented guys. We lost against South Africa, but do you think that today is the opportunity to seal the berth of semi-finals?
Yes, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure because the Indian side is very good. At Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, Sky, I'm Suryakumar Yadav. Hardik Pandya is also playing well. Dinesh Karthik is also playing well. I am expecting high from KL Rahul I know he's a good player and he will make a strong comeback in this match.
Okay, big player. Any key player from both the teams, which is going to like make an impact?
From India, I will say Suryakumar Yadav because he's an exceptional player. And from Bangladesh, I will say Shakib Al Hasan because he is an excellent all-rounder.
Right. So what's your take? What's your take on today's match? Do you think that India is surely going to win this one?
Yeah, it's gonna be an easy match. It's gonna be a one-sided match. As we all know, Virat Kohli is in form, and I'm expecting a good knock from him. And Surya Kumar Yadav is a 360 player. He's gonna score a ton today as well. Thank you.
Are you also expecting runs from KL Rahul's bat?
Yes, I'm expecting because he has not scored a good run from past 3 to 4 matches as the World Cup has started. Yeah, I think he's gonna score today. He's gonna play an impressive innings as well. Thank you.
आपको क्या लगता है मैम, ये मुकाबला बांग्लादेश के अगेंस्ट कितना महत्वपूर्ण हो जाता है, क्योंकि हमें पता है आज की जीत हमें सेमीफाइनल में पहुंचा सकती है?
हाँ, यही चाहेंगे. ज्यादा तो मैं कुछ भी नहीं बोलूंगी, बस इंडिया जीत जाए लास्ट तक यही बोलूंगी. बाकी आप दीदी से भी पूछ सकते हैं, दीदी बता देंगे.
चलिए, तो एज यू कैन सी दैट एवरीबॉडी इज वेरी होपफुल दैट इंडिया इज गोइंग टू विन दिस मैच एंड दे विल सील द सेमीफाइनल berth.
Break. All right, Nitin, thank you so much for joining us, giving us perspective. Fans eagerly waiting for the India versus Bangladesh encounter. We'll take a short break on our live programming at the moment on India today, but don't go anywhere. On the other side, we bring you all the latest updates, including the toss, the playing 11, Harbhajan Singh, Sunny Gavaskar, Pragyan Ojha will stay with us. So see you then. You are watching Battle of Champions, live exclusive on India Today from the Adelaide Oval, the venue of India versus Bangladesh.
Okay, after that mega update from Adelaide, wherein everybody is very confident that India is going to beat Bangladesh, considering the baggage of history that Bangladesh has. I mean, 11 matches, 10 losses against
Exactly,
India.
just one T20
One
I win.
T20 I win, and that happened in November. Same situation, polluted Delhi. We were not sure that the match would
even
happen.
go forward.
Yeah, I mean, Delhi's AQI at that time was a staggering 800 at the Firuzshah Kotla. And Bangladesh players were vomiting. But despite that, the match happened. Bangladesh won. I think Khalil Ahmed that day unfortunately bore the brunt. And Saikat Chatterjee is asking, India win today, Pakistan lose next match, then India semi-final confirmed. Saikat, yes. If India wins today, they get to 6. Bangladesh has a very poor net run rate of minus 1.5. If Pakistan loses to South Africa tomorrow, then India will have to hope that Bangladesh don't thrash Pakistan by 150 runs.
Which is not happening.
So India are 99.9% in the semi-final if Pakistan loses to South Africa tomorrow. So I hope that answers your question, Saikot. And AQI 800 is normal for us, Pradeep Shiva, happens every winter, but
sadly agreed. But at least this year actually it's been better. You know, it says a lot that the progress is that okay, we were only AQI at like around 400, so that's good. It's not that bad also.
Well, Pradeep, it's not doing any help for my health whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, now if I have to look at it, yes, we have to deal with the pollution that is around in our part of the globe. But for all those people now, this group 2 has been reduced to just 4 teams now. Netherlands have beaten Bangladesh. I mean, Netherlands have beaten Zimbabwe rather, and Zimbabwe have been knocked out.
Correct.
Along with Netherlands.
So that means now there's in this particular Super 6 group, there's 4 teams who are still at least mathematically in contention. Bangladesh, remember, poor net run rate. Pakistan too. I think points wise, Pakistan will be hoping for a lot of things to go in their favor.
Yep. So that is how it is. Pakistan, if they lose tomorrow, they are out. They will join Zimbabwe and Netherlands in the flight back from the T20 World Cup. Then it all boils down to the Bangladesh versus Pakistan encounter on November 6th.
Correct.
But India, if they win, 99.9% they are through. then they'll have to only avoid defeat against Zimbabwe, and and hope Bangladesh don't beat Pakistan by over 150 runs. By the way, Group 1 has been really problematic for Australia. After the win against they had against New Zealand, after England defeated New Zealand, Australia's chances have taken a massive hit.
Correct.
Because what has happened? Australia will have to beat their last game is against Afghanistan.
They will have to hammer Afghanistan
By a margin of over 75 runs. And if they have to chase a target of 50, imagine, they'll have to do it in 3 overs to overhaul England's net run rate. Because England's net run rate has gotten a massive boost because of this. So that is how it is. Your comments on Bangladesh playing on back foot after that interview from Shakib?
I don't think they'll play on the back foot. See, there's two things there. One, there is an element of truth to what it is he's saying. Bangladesh were not expected to do anything in this World Cup. They were not. The fact that they won 2 matches is in itself massive.
But against whom did they win?
Exactly. They've beaten 2 of the minnows, 2 teams that they would absolutely be expected to win.
No disrespect to Zimbabwe though.
And even there, they really took the games very deep.
Yep.
Either of those games could have gone the other way. Let's be frank. But the other thing is, I don't think they will play on the back foot, but I do think they will play with some degree of freedom because they know nothing is expected from them in this particular match.
Right. Sanket Joshi said, please predict your 4 teams for the semis along with the fixtures. Okay. I predict a South Africa, New Zealand semi-final and India versus England semi.
So you think that England will be, making it along with New Zealand, and they'll be the team that are second?
England will be on top. I think South Africa will probably finish with 9 points.
England will be on top? How is that even this thing? They have...
Well, if New Zealand get hammered by...
That's a very high hope that New Zealand will get hammered.
But okay, I would say South Africa are...
Unfortunately, I see an India-New Zealand semi-final happening.
No. India might finish second. So, New Zealand-India, yeah, maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
So and we are going back to Adelaide now, and toss time is about 2 minutes away.
To be very careful against the Bangla Tigers. It's right now a party-like atmosphere outside the Adelaide Oval. As you can see, the drones are playing different kinds of music. They're playing, and I'll quickly run across and show you up close of what's really happening here. Let me just show you. You can see it is a carnival-like, a party-like atmosphere here at the Adelaide Oval, trying to get you the best sights and sounds right outside the stadium. But meanwhile, there was an untoward incident that happened with the Indian team that was pertaining to the breach of privacy in Virat Kohli. That incident actually happened more than 2 weeks ago. It happened in Perth. That was just before the start of the T20 World Cup, but they were staying in the Crown Hotel in Perth. And somebody, as according to the hotel authorities, in fact, it was a third-party contractor that went inside Virat Kohli and shot a video on his phone. Later, he shared that video with a few of his family members and friends. And one of those people was in possession of that video, put it out on social media. Upon discovering that, Virat Kohli came out and saying that, we understand fans that love us, they want a piece of us, but certain things are sacrosanct, certain lines should be crossed. And these are things that we will be putting out on social media because it is a players, that has been reached. So it was really talking about just in Australia, in West Indies, and action has been taken against that third party contractor that was employed by the hotel. That was the hotel authority, the hotel. Meanwhile, the crowd was asked about that, and what he had to say.
It's obviously disappointing. It's not very comfortable.
Well, we are We are all set for the toss.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you can see Rohit there walking out. He's, I don't know, I think, okay, what would you be doing? What would you be wanting to do?
If I win the toss, I'd want to bat first.
I'd say the opposite. I'd put Bangladesh into bat.
Granted, they've won both their matches while
Okay. Okay.
But what is also worth noting is that in both their matches batting first, they've scored 144 and 150.
Yes.
And that's against bowling lineups, which, again, giving Zimbabwe and Netherlands their due respect, don't boast the same firepower that India's bowling does. I'd put them into bowl first.
Bat first. Try and get them out.
You've already played one game at this venue already. Because Zimbabwe, Netherlands, it'll be cloudy. Yes, it'll be cloudy, and yeah, I think I may be tempted to change my thing. Yeah, it'll be like chase. Even Pradeep Shiva was like, yeah, I think if you win the toss, you'll chase.
100%. Also,
Sankalp Sahu,
yeah,
back.
you've been. Yeah, where have you been? It's been a while.
Yeah, welcome back, Sankalp Sahu. And so India versus Bangladesh, the toss is about to happen. And Anirudh Mathur, yes, if Zimbabwe had beaten both Bangladesh and Netherlands, they would have had chances to qualify. Absolutely.
Correct.
7 points. They would have had a chance to qualify because they had beaten Pakistan. Golden opportunity. But yeah, 3 runs and losing with 2 overs to spare in a defense of 118. You have to feel sad for them. But then they have only themselves to blame.
Absolutely.
And Bangladesh
have won the toss. Very, very good.
And they will chase.
I think they'll look to chase for sure.
Well, I hope Shakib doesn't do a brain fade at the toss. No, once again, India didn't win the toss. Bangladesh won the toss. Yes.
They chose to field as expected.
Absolutely, yes. So
And especially considering, mind you, that there's rain expected, at least a little bit of rain expected in the second innings, makes the decision much easier. That if you win the toss, you look to have runs on the board.
Bangladesh have chosen to bowl under overcast conditions and
At
also
Adelaide.
with a bit of help from this Adelaide wicket. Because look, gone are those times when the Adelaide wicket was an absolute belter. Because now the pink ball test has ensured that the wicket quality assists much more of pace and bounce.
Correct.
But yeah, maybe in the T20 format it is different. Maybe 150 is the par score at this point in time. So we are tossing
going back
to
now live to
for
Adelaide.
toss.
Yes.
Now there's a field.
We're having some technical difficulties quite
Anurag
clearly.
is caught up in the web of technical difficulties.
It happens. I mean, it's a long show. These
I
kind of things can
will be
happen.
tempted to hear what Rohit Sharma will have. Will he? Yep. Yeah, Sankalp, Adelaide is King Kohli's backyard, man. I mean, you have to look at my ground realities episode that I did on Adelaide. I have said Adelaide is King Kohli's holy ground. Tests, ODIs, T20Is, he's been absolutely supreme. I mean, he's got 3 test hundreds in Adelaide.
Correct.
He's gotten 2 ODI hundreds in Adelaide. And his highest score outside of Asia happened in Adelaide, 90.
Correct.
He doesn't have an average in Adelaide in T20Is because he's unbeaten. How long are the boundaries at Adelaide? Okay, the square boundaries are shorter, 65 meters, 60 to 65 meters. The straighter boundaries are 75 to 80 meters. Because remember, Adelaide has undergone reconstruction, so the square boundaries are even shorter. So I'll be interested to see what is the team combination for both sides. I mean, Amra can just go down a bit if we...
In fact, what Rohit has said at the toss is that we would have batted first anyway. I think that's because of the matchups here. Generally speaking, Adelaide does favor teams that bat first.
Sarkar is not playing. Shariful Islam comes in. So wait, I think I may have gotten the team at this point in time. No,
we don't have it here.
We don't have the team yet. Surprising. I thought they would have sent the team by now.
So we'll get to know it soon enough.
Yeah, we will. So Virat Kohli, Adelaide, if he scores 16 more runs, he will become the lead.
So they have one change. Axar in for Hooda.
Okay. Axar in for...
So Ashwin's still playing.
Ashwin still plays. No
Rishabh Pant.
DK is fit. So this is the one change that Axar Patel has replaced Deepak Hooda.
Which kind of makes sense. If you wanted a batting and bowling option and you don't trust Hooda's bowling, it just makes sense to bring an Axar. Plus, you have the left-hander.
Yeah. So Ash remains. But remember, Ashwin against Bangladesh has been pretty good. In fact, his record against Shakib is sublime.
Obviously, left-hand option does come into play
So
there.
in just 9 balls, he's dismissed Shakib twice. So Shakib has a mental block playing Ashwin, but then this is Australia, and Ashwin in the last couple of games has not been up to the mark, but maybe this is the ground where he can do it. Because Adelaide, often he's had a pretty okayish record there, Ashwin, when it comes to test matches. So, India's 11 is KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Surya Kumar, Hardik Pandya. That was no surprise. Dinesh Karthik. Oh boy, that is he's pulled up. He had a back spasm when he landed pretty badly in Perth, so he's recovered from that. Axar Patel, Ravichandran Ashwin. Axar Patel is the replacement for Deepak Hooda. Ravichandran Ashwin, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Mohammad Shami, Arshdeep.
So again, no surprise they made no changes to the bowling. Although when I say bowling, I mean the pace bowling. Sorry, because I was totally expecting Yuzi would get a look in.
Bhuvneshwar and Shami on this wicket could be a handful along
Absolutely.
with Arshdeep. So Bangladesh, they have made one change. There is Shariful Islam who's come in. Shariful Islam, and there is no Soumya Sarkar. That's a big blow. Najmul Hossain, Shanto, Liton Das, Shakib Al Hasan, Afif Hussain. Afif Hussain, though, played a crucial knock against Bangladesh recently. Yasir Ali, Mossadegh, who can forget Mossadegh? And I wanted to see the Shariful Nurul Hassan. Remember, he almost botched it up in that game against Zimbabwe. Mustafizur Rahman, Hassan Mahmood. Keep an eye out for this guy. He's a superb death overs bowler. Taskin Ahmed.
I think the one bowler you'd be fearing.
Yep. Taskin and Mustafizur, you Indians have to be careful in that.
Taskin, in fact, I remember reading an interview with his mental fitness coach where he said that we've programmed Taskin's mind in such a way that now, when he's bowling, previously, and it's a very human tendency that you're worried about getting hit, you're worried about this, that. He's saying that now he's focused in such a way that all he's focusing on is the ball he bowls. So once the ball is bowled, that ball is done, finished, history. He's saying, and that renewed focus on just living every ball rather than worrying about what happens has been one of the key reasons for his recent success.
Why Axar Patel today? Sankalp Housing. Why Axar Patel? There are so many left-hander batsmen in the Bangladesh lineup. Very interesting. Because look, the square boundaries in Adelaide are pretty short. That indeed brings up a very
But I think the reason
Afif, Shakib, they're all left-handers.
No, I think why they brought in Axar is because you needed
they want more depth in the batting.
They want depth in the batting and bowling, because again, last time around, with them not trusting Deepak Hooda's bowling, they only had 5 bowlers. So you need that extra bowling option, and maybe they'll just save Axar they'll give him an over or two when the right-handers are there.
Roy SP is saying would have wanted RP to play today. Shariful, I remember 2020 under-19 World Cup, was very instrumental. Yes, should have rested DK today. But
why would you rest DK? He's not going to be playing after the World Cup either.
But you wouldn't want to rest DK against a team where he's had phenomenal success against. Once Jen, what's the score that India will target? 160.
Anything above 160, I would say, is a bonus. 170 types would mean that it's.
But I think on this wicket, it will be a bit dodgy to get 160.
No, of course. I'm saying if you can get 160, 170, anything beyond that, anything
Bangladesh are not
will struggle.
Chase will.
Exactly, and this current batting lineup, no disrespect, isn't that good. There's a lot of players who are young, inexperienced, trying to fulfill their potential. So in that regard, I think that's another reason why I said put the pressure on the chase. They won't quite know, although as Shakib said, it's better that we know what this thing we have, but if the pitch doesn't change much, then you have the Indians bowling second, it'll be problematic. And we're going back to Nikhil at Adelaide.
Produce any sort of downpour so far, so that's good news on the weather front. But there is some sort of rain predicted a little later in the day, but not heavy rain, only slight drizzle. So at best, you'll have a situation where the game could be disrupted for half an hour or so. And if that was to happen, you will still not be docked any over, because remember, there's an extra 1 hour buffer before overs are docked. So all of that taken into consideration, you can expect a full 40 over encounter, though it's very cold and very chilly in Adelaide. As Pragyan was pointing out, maybe keeping the weather in mind, they've decided to field first, also to gauge the situation, the pitch, and then get to know what's a good total to chase. Saribhai, to you, a word on the Bangladesh team. I see those 3 pacers, 2 of them very experienced in Takshin Ahmed and Mushfiqur, and they've been doing very well in this tournament so far. Indian batting susceptible at the top. Do you think Bangladesh will try and utilize that weakness, and the Indian team will have to be wary of those 2 experienced pacers that Bangladesh have?
Well, I tell you what, in all my years of coming to Australia, and I've been coming here since, more than 50 years ago, I've never seen an Australian summer like this. Yes, it's the start of the summer, the beginning of the summer, October, November, but it's just incredible how cold it has been every single center that we've been. The rains have followed the team just about everywhere. And that makes it difficult. That makes it difficult because we in India are used to playing in the summer where it is generally hot and humid. And suddenly to come here where it is cold is never going to be easy. Look, when players play, they don't want to be, encumbered with, sweaters and, woolies inside like I'm wearing. The sun's out, but the wind is on. I'm wearing a woolly inside. So we are just not used to that. The West Indians are not used to that. The Sri Lankans are not used to that. So suddenly it becomes a little bit more difficult to get, the freedom to swing your arms, etc. So yes, it can impact. But, today, every single cricketer is a professional. And he knows that these are probably rare situations, but he has to learn how to overcome them. He has to also believe that nothing is the matter, that it's the bright sunshine out there, and he's got to go out and play accordingly.
Saiba, you're bang on that the weather here is very cold. Sunny Gavaskar wearing multiple layers. So am I. This is not the kind of weather that you encounter during summer months. In fact, the locals were telling us that this is very unprecedented. From here on, you start getting about 30-degree temperatures, but we've got single-digit temperatures here yesterday. So these are conditions that both teams are not going to be used to. But Sunny, I'm going back to that question that I'd asked you earlier about the Bangladeshi pacers. You think that they're going to pose a threat, and should the Indian batsmen be wary of them then?
Well, certainly with the new ball, when the ball will move around a bit, yes, there will be a bit of a threat, but I'm not too sure that there will be much of a threat later on. Once the hardness of the ball and the hardness of the seam wears down, I don't think there'll be too much to worry. But again, this is a T20 game. We also know that the Indian team under Rohit Sharma wants to go bang bang in the first 6 overs, trying to take advantage of the field restrictions outside the 30-meter circle. And in trying to do that, India could lose maybe a couple of wickets. Otherwise, they could get off to a flying start like 50 or 60 for maybe just one wicket in the first 6 overs.
Harbhajan, to you, Sunny Bhai mentioned that this is not the kind of weather that he's ever encountered in Australia during this time of the year. How do you think it's going to impact the game? How do you think it's going to play a role as far as the strategies of the team is concerned? Or bowling is one thing, batting is one thing, but it's fielding which is going to be very, very tough in these chilly, windy conditions.
Well, you have to keep your finger warm and make sure that you have those, warmers in your pocket to keep your finger warm. And when you're fielding, keep yourself warm and make sure, as a fast bowler, it's very important to be ready to bowl at any point of time. And so keeping yourself warm with, whatever layers you have to wear, make sure you're protective and also and doing the right sort of thing to get ready to bowl at any point of time. As a batter, once you're there in the middle, because you run so much, you get used to of those winds and colds. But as the bowler, just becomes very challenging one, especially in this short competition where you have one ball, 1 over you're bowling now, and the second over you might be bowling in the 15th over, and then the third over might be the 20th over. So it is a challenge for bowlers. So I hope they'll keep the warmers in their pocket and keep themselves warm.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you, Harbhajan, because as I come to you live from here, I can feel a few raindrops fall on me. So these are the first bit of raindrops that I've encountered in the last 3-4 hours. Yes, it rained in the morning, but as we talk, I can feel a slight drizzle here. Whether that is going to impact the start of the game, we won't know. But it's not heavy rain right now here in Adelaide Oval. Very slight drizzle. But let me show you the clouds up there. These are threatening clouds, grey, dark clouds up in the air, and rain has started to fall. Though, as I say again, it's just very slight drizzle, not heavy rain, just slight drizzle. I can see a few fans now, their umbrellas are out because of the rain. So the cloud is actually coming from this side of the ground. That side, as you can see there. Those are the threatening crowd. They are coming from the south side of the stadium and heading towards the stadium here. That's the stadium lights that you can see. So not great news live from Adelaide that you've got a slight drizzle. But I think the drizzle is a passing drizzle, not threatening. And for all you know, even the start may not be delayed. So if it doesn't rain anymore, and if the drizzle stays this much, then you may even have the start on time. But the toss has anyway been done and dusted. So this is actually the first time that the Indian team has encountered bad weather, because previous to this, all three games were full 40-over encounters. This, might also be a 40-over encounter, but there's some sort of slight drizzle. Pragyan, it can't be easy that the toss is done and the drizzle comes. Teams must be nervous. They must be hoping that if the rain had to come, should have come slightly earlier, because it's always best that toss happens when you know what the playing conditions are. If it's a shortened game, you know what kind of a shortened game you have. Then you can make the appropriate changes into your 11 and decide accordingly. But if the toss happens and the rain comes after that and the game is shortened, it's not ideal situation for either teams, you'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope it doesn't happen that way, because it is very frustrating, especially when it's a game which has got so much of importance in relevance to the tournament. Saying that, I would say, yes, when it starts drizzling, then things change. But as a cricket fan, as an Indian supporter, I believe that it doesn't play a spoil sport, because we want to watch those 40 overs and we want those small things to be rectified in this game, so that when you go ahead in the tournament, when you go deeper and in the crucial games, you don't encounter those same mistakes. Saying that, but from a player's point of view, it is very, very difficult, especially when it starts raining. You don't know when exactly you'll enter the field, what exactly will be the situation, what are the changes which has to be done. And after the toss, it even becomes more crucial, because you have limited access. Had this happened, if rain happens prior to the toss, then you know what changes you can do, what are the things that you need to address. But after the toss, it's very, very steep.
Okay, Pragyan, stay on with us. I'll get back to you for some more updates and also bring you some live updates from Adelaide Oval. The latest is that drizzle that I mentioned was indeed a passing drizzle. It's not raining anymore, and it's completely disappeared. And this is something that we encountered in the last 2-3 days as well. Just slight drizzle happening here, no heavy rain. So I hope it remains that. The dark clouds look threatening, but have really not been a big downpour that we witnessed in the last 2-3 days. So that's a piece of good news. We'll keep bringing you our analysis on the program. But meanwhile, let's take a look at the X factor for India. Everyone that I meet obviously talks of Virat Kohli. He's got a great record here. You'd be expecting that he gets a lot of runs. He was hard at practice yesterday. But the Superman for India has been flying high. His name is Sky, Surya Kumar Yadav. And just as this sky and the clouds are threatening, Surya Kumar Yadav has been threatening every team that has come up against him in the last year or so. An outstanding performer for India. And once again, he is going to be a threat versus Bangladesh. We heard from Shakib Al Hasan ahead of this game. He said, when asked about, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, he actually pointed out Surya Kumar Yadav. He said in the last year or so, he is India's best batsman and he's the one to watch out for.
Yeah, I think Surya Kumar would be the one batsman who, I think if you look at even the South Africa match, no batsman from either side could play the way he was playing on that pitch.
He made it a contest.
Exactly.
Surya. But yes, the latest information is the Hessian has covered the Adelaide pitch.
And there's a bit of a drizzle.
Nikhil did point out that there was a drizzle that had come at the ground, and we did predict rain was happening, but we are saying it's not going to be a washout. We had said 50 to 61% chances of rain were there later on in the day. And I had mentioned in the video before also that unlike Melbourne and Sydney, which were morning rain, this was evening rain. So that is why. Then let's just look at any other comments. Just go up a bit. Rohit century loading. Yeah, GGK. Rohit is one of the leading run getters against Bangladesh when it comes to ICC event. So Akash Bharadwaj, I was wanting to take this. Sir, can you tell how Oz can qualify if India only win one of the last two? Okay, simple. For Australia, their chances are actually very, very slim because they'll have to bowl, suppose they bowl Afghanistan out for 100 in Adelaide. They will have to chase it down in 6 overs.
Correct.
And they have to hope that England loses to Sri Lanka. That's a simple equation. If England loses to Sri Lanka and Australia win, then Australia are through. Simple. No net run rate involved there because they'll be on 7.
Correct.
England will be on 5. But if England win, Australia will have to win. Suppose if they chase 150, it will have to be done in 12-13 overs.
So that's the problem.
And if they have to chase, if Australia have to chase 150, they'll have to do it in 9-10 overs.
So it's not actually looking good for the Aussies. I mean, mathematically they're still in with a chance, but
very slim.
It's very, very slim.
Because who upset the apple cart for their Aussies, for the Aussies, and it's not going to improve relations between them at all. They're Trans-Tasman cousins.
New Zealand, because once that massive loss was handed to them to start the tournament, that was it. That was already.
And the Aussies needed New Zealand to beat England. And Nikhil's back.
We're back with some more updates from Adelaide.
7 minutes to go before the first ball is bowled. The information that we're getting, there is no delay to the start of the game. It may be cold, but there's no delay. क्या किसको देखने आए?
सर विराट कोहली को एंड अर्शदीप को
तो पुता अर्शदीप सिंह देखना आया सी अर्शदीप को देखने आया
विराट कोहली एंड अर्शदीप सर आज अर्शदीप 3 विकेट लेगा फर्स्ट ओवर में एंड विराट कोहली तो सेंचुरी मारेगा आज और डेफिनेटली इंडिया जीतेगी आज
नागिन डांस तो नहीं हो
नहीं सर
भंगड़ा दिल्ली दिल वालों की अंदर पूरा डांस चलेगा दिल्ली का
अगर अर्शदीप 10 विकेट लेगा तो नागिन डांस कर देंगे सर
Okay, thank you. All the best. Okay, so people have come to cheer for Arshdeep Singh, Virat Kohli. Those are the players that they love. Pragyan, I didn't get your thoughts on the changes in the playing 11. You had pointed out that it's best to go with Axar Patel. The team has done that.
No, absolutely. If you look at the dynamics of the previous game and, this game, it was a change because it was needed there in Perth. But if you look at the regular team, Axar Patel has been featuring and he's been doing well. So it really justifies what Rohit Sharma has in his mind. He knows that that change was because of the conditions there and the demand of the situation. But now let's fall back to what our regular team has been playing. So it is Axar Patel who was a regular member of the side. So these things happen in T20 cricket. At times, because of the situation, you make few changes. But when you go back to a normal condition, you see your regular players coming in. And the only thing I would have loved to see is Yuzvezdra Chahal, because he's a wicket taker. And that's where maybe somewhere I think we need to catch up, because in the middle overs we have not been able to pick those crucial wickets, and we ended up giving those runs, especially against South Africa. So that is the reason, that is the only reason. It is totally cricketing sense. That's why I've been talking about Yuzvezdra Chahal. But if you talk about Ashwin, he's been a match winner, done well, done that. And from my point of view, if you have to talk to Ashwin, you would say, Ashwin, don't think that this is a white ball that you're bowling with. Think that it is a red ball, because that mindset is very important for him. If he bowls the way he bowls in a red ball, I think the first intent that he has is to pick wickets. So that is what his intent should be in this game.
Oh, that's very nicely put by Pragyan Oja. A great piece of advice for R. Ashwin. Don't think you're bowling with the white ball. Think you're bowling with the red ball. Go back to the basics and the clear elements that you need in Test cricket. They will be useful for you even in the white ball format. So go back to the core strength, that is off spin. Go back to that core strength of bowling with the red ball, with the white ball. That might just change the scenario for R. Ashwin, who's been unable to pick those crucial wickets in the middle overs. I'm afraid I'm running out of time. But before I go, I'm going to quickly one time show you the Adelaide Oval. It was buzzing with people all around. But now most of them have headed inside the stadium, and that's understandable because we're just minutes away from the game to start. Yes, there was a slight drizzle, all thanks to these grey clouds, which still are hovering over the Adelaide Oval, but the rain have not been persistent. It's not been there for very long. And that is why you're going to have a game that is going to start on time. India are going to be coming out to bat very soon. They made one change. They made a mistake last time. They got an extra batsman, dropped a bowler. They've gone back to that formula of 6 bowlers that has served them well. So Axar Patel has come in. That's the latest update from Adelaide Oval. Thanks so much, Harbhajan Singh, Sunil Gavaskar, Pragyan Oja, for joining us, building us, and helping us understand the tactical play that we're about to witness here in the game versus India and Bangladesh. But for the moment, I'm going to bid adieu to all of you. Thanks so much for your company. But news and updates continue on India Today after a short little break.
Okay, so we are in the midst of the Bangladesh national anthem, Amar Shonar Bangla, which is the longest, by the way.
The second longest being the Lankans one.
The Sri Lanka Mata. By the way, Johnny Bairstow had created quite a storm by
making some ill-advised remarks. And to be fair, there was nothing which he said which was out of the ordinary, but I think when it comes to like anthems and stuff, just don't say anything.
And
just don't bother.
The second shortest anthem in the world, Jana Gana Mana of India, which is 52 seconds. And the only Sanskritized version of it. And Rabindranath Tagore apparently had a big hand in writing even the Sri Lankan national anthem. If you have to look at it, because it's a Sanskritized version. You look at the starting version, it looks like Vaishnav Jantu Tene Sri Lanka Mata, Push Sri Lanka, Namo Namo Mata. So India's 52-second national anthem reverberates around Adelaide, and India batting first, and hopefully they put up a good score. Bangladesh, on the other hand, will be aiming to make an impression like how they did in 2015 against England. There they were not touted as one of the favourites, but they did upset the apple cart and defeated England by 15 runs, I guess. Yeah, they defeated them by 15 runs. That was their second win in the World Cup against England. So,
can we just go down? We'll take a couple more comments before the match
before we sign off. And
Yeah.
India winning easily, yes.
I think we're expecting that. I mean, 220 though, Pradeep, that's a big prediction.
Not
on this
particular
pitch.
wicket. Yeah, 170, I'm saying that might.
Yeah, I think I'm predicting 162 if we're going by predictions.
162, the same score that they made against Pakistan. No, was it 152? 162? I think it was 158, I guess, right?
Yeah.
158. 162 you're predicting. I'm predicting about 165. Because 170, it will be a great feat if they achieve that.
If they can get anything above 165, 70, it's bonus. Because I don't think this is going to be that easy a track either.
Yeah, Pakistan's chances is they're asking what will be Pakistan. Now, this game doesn't benefit them anyway because one team will get to 6 points by the end. However, Pakistan, if they beat South Africa, and if Netherlands do the unthinkable and beat South Africa, then Pakistan has a chance.
Well, it's very small.
Very
small. And as Aditya Mohanty says, expecting total domination by India, I think we're all hoping for the same.
We are hoping for the same. Let's hope that the weakling that was there, that was the opening combination, KL Rahul hopefully fires today in the land of churches, as Nikhil had pointed out in his story today.
And thank you, Sanket. We will in fact be joining you guys, of course, middle of the match, after the match, all of that stuff. Anyway, we'll take your leave now because, well, the match is about to start. We'd also be keen to see what exactly happens here. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We know it was a nice, very long preview, but it was nice to have you guys along with us.
Updates from Adelaide, you got updates from all our experts.
Everything and then some.
We had you covered.
So thank you all so much for joining us. Again, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, leave us a comment, tap the bell icon, follow on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram too. Download the Sportstek app. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye and vanakkam.